Let's take a look and see what's going on. First of all, you can see the storm trackers are out and about, still raining in Tulsa. And we still are getting mild reports of flooding. Now, the one that you see in the upper right, that was Sequoia with flooding on the roadways. And again, that's just near the Choteau area. And there's been so much water that's fallen. And it's, of course, we've had so much rain in areas from Tulsa south and east. It didn't take much to get these rivers going to higher levels, but this gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on as far as around the city. It's a lot of water. The good news is there has not been too many additional reports of hail, and there have been no tornadoes. So we're in pretty good shape. Speaking of which, let's take a look, see what we have going on right now. Severe thunderstorm watch, though, still goes on until 11 o'clock for our southeast part of our viewing area. So we still have to watch out because there is in the far southeast side here, temperatures are still very mild. We'll look at that in a little bit. But this line or conveyor belt of rain, notice how it was empty behind that storm as it came into Tulsa, and now these have flared back up again. So this isn't over with, and so we're going to have kind of aggravated flooding, and so it's just enough to cause some concerns. Now, we have dropped the flood warning, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to end up with still some flooding around the Tulsa area. In fact, speaking of which, let's go ahead and come in a little bit closer and take a look at what's going on around the metro area at this hour. You can see where Sequoia is located. Let's look at his video. I don't think I'll talk Sequoia right this second, but there's still pouring rain, and you see water flooding over the roadways. And these fence posts are probably about 6 feet tall. And so again, that's just damming up a lot of water, and then it's just running across the roads here. And that's why we always say, turn around, don't drown. We did have a rescue for the Choteau area, and apparently it was 4 kids and an adult, possibly, I think is what we had the report. I'll get the official report coming up in a little bit, but needless to say, it's still one of those things we always say, turn around, don't drown, because you never know. The bridge might be out. That's one of the biggest things to learn out of these things. You don't know if the bridge is there. And you could drive across that and say, I've driven across this, it's had water out before. And especially at night, there's so many things that help you pretty much lose perspective, and so that's a bad thing. All right, let's come back and take a look again around the metro area. Heavy rains, thunder, lightning going on in the central and southeast sides of town. Generally, right now around Broken Arrow, south of Catoosa, and then extending back down just anywhere. Well, John's near the areas of just southwest Broken Arrow, southeast Tulsa. Let's go to John with an update. John, what do you have for us?
Well, right now I'm watching this bar ditch in Bixby. It's maybe 3/4 of the way full. It's not over Memorial, but it's coming up, and we're once again getting torrential rainfall here in Bixby. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Also, the radar is active, but you go even further south down around the Haskell area. That's where we find Brandon right now. Hey, Brandon, could you give us an update on what's going on down around the Haskell area?
Yeah, Travis. Well, here on the south end of Haskell, this is the common scene in these low-lying areas. So you've got to really be mindful of these troubled spots. But you can see in our shot that this water is over the roadway, and once we get more rain, it's just going to aggravate the situation even more. But if you got to get out tonight, just be extremely careful. Turn around and don't drown, as we say, Travis.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that, Brandon. All right, let's go over and take a look. So here's some of the heaviest rains. So this is the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line right in here, this bold line that you see. And we still have flood warnings going on. We're in around areas of Concord up to around Jay, and then also extending into northwest Arkansas. So again, there's still heavy waves of rain and thunder and lightning. So if you're off to the east of Tulsa, we haven't talked a whole lot from Choteau. We've talked about the Choteau area because obviously we have Sequoia situated there. But then as you go back further to the east in southern Delaware County, still the flood warnings, tons and tons of water are falling. It's just unbelievable. So this is the big picture once again. You see more rain and thunderstorms down south. These were severe as they were coming into the areas around Oklahoma City. Those have since dropped. All right, let's take a look at why this is all happening right now. And you can see it's still 78 degrees in Poto, still 78. It was in the 80s this afternoon, while the rest of us were starting to fall apart after a mild morning. But we're looking at temperatures again cold to the north. And so the showers and thunderstorms tonight, it's not finished yet as we go through the overnight time period. Here's the midnight hour, and then on into, we have one more big wave coming through, and then a few additional areas of showers and rumbles of thunder through morning. So we'll be in the 40s to 50s in rain. And it's like, good grief. And that finally ends by noon. And then by afternoon, we just have a few sprinkles. Most of the heavy rain has moved off into Arkansas and severe weather over there. And then we'll be in the 50s for the most part during the afternoon, and 60s if you're further south. So that gives you a pretty good perspective of what's going on. The good news is the fact that once we finally get on into the time period for Saturday, it'll be better. Our rainfall amounts have been pretty impressive across the area, and it's still dangerous. I want you to be careful. So the odds of rain really dropping off as we go through the day tomorrow, especially after about 10 o'clock in the morning. Our forecast looks like this. We'll see temperatures tonight with a few isolated strong thunderstorms ending, so that's the good news, showing up with rain. And then in the morning, still some scattered showers in the vicinity, so you will have to be aware. Extend the forecast out. We dry out on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Back to a slight chance of storms on Tuesday. And then you see it's like 30, 30, 30, 30. Well, that just means there's a good chance of scattered showers and storms. Best chances on Thursday. Some of those could be severe as we get a storm system coming on through. That's the latest look at the weather forecast.